Welcome back to In Pursuit 360. And here we go again with another interview question that you may be faced with if you're applying for a law enforcement job. So today we're going to tackle the newest question, if you will. What do you think is the greatest issue facing law enforcement today? All right, that's it. That's the question for today. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to In Pursuit 360. Hey, we've crossed that 1,000 subscriber mark. I thank you all very much. I am here for you. Whatever I can do to help you enter into the career field of law enforcement, please let me know. Make some comments down below, and I will address your questions directly, either in a comment or I'll make a video just for you. So today our question is, what do you think is the greatest issue facing law enforcement today? So it doesn't take much to watch the news or to listen to some kind of media or even listen to your friends or people that you may know talk about the problems with law enforcement today. So you may be tempted to answer with something like, I think the largest issue facing law enforcement today is a lack of training, a lack of diversity training, a lack of, let's say, teaching officers how to properly communicate with a diverse community, right? So a communication issue. Let's maybe, and it's whatever you think, okay? I'm not telling you how to answer. I'm not trying to tell you this is the perfect answer that is guaranteed to get you a job. No, that's not the deal. I am trying to get you to think into your mind and how to justify an answer you may give. So let's say, do you seriously think, so remember this, watching the news, watching the media, and even social postings by people that we know, a lot of times it's partial information, right? So I don't know. I think my answer right now would be, I think law enforcement's biggest issue today is the fact that there is not enough 100% communication of incidents that actually occur that tend to give law enforcement a black eye to the community without them actually understanding all the facts, right? So that's a huge problem. So, and I'm not saying that media is crooked. If you think media is crooked, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. What I'm saying is, though, is that media has always, even before the recent years, back when I started back in 1993, media's interested in ratings. We had a local newspaper, and we named it something else other than what it was. Fine. It was, I don't want to get into that because I don't want to end up getting sued. We added a name to it because when they wrote their stories about us sometimes, they would leave little things out that made it seem like we were heavy-handed, or maybe sometimes we weren't always fair, right? And I was there, and I would read the news. It would be me. And I'd read the newspaper article and be like, that's not what happened. No, that's not right either. Wait, why didn't they put this part in? They didn't put that part in because they knew that once people started talking about it, more people would go buy the paper, right? They wanted to read that article. Or the news media on TV. They know that if they put a spin on it this way and just leave this one little tidbit out, more people are going to watch because they want to know what happened. Oh, what did that bad cop do, right? And it feeds and feeds and feeds. So I think one of the biggest issues facing law enforcement, is that not 100% of the information is getting passed along to the community. And decisions are being made about the law enforcement community and how law enforcement deals with certain situations, because of their lack of diversity training. Bullcrap. I can tell you that every academy class across the country, I haven't personally been to every single one of them, but I know tons of cops from across the country, are all taught about communication, de-escalation. It's enforcement of the law, not enforcement by race. It's It's fairness. It's using that discretion, when it best suits the community and when it comes to the best outcome. You catch a kid shoplifting, doesn't matter. White, black, Chinese, Mexican, take your pick, right? It doesn't matter. If it's a 13-year-old kid and you can tell he's scared to death and he stole a candy bar because he's hungry, you might give him a warning. But if he's all punky and calling you names and being a dirtbag and he's got $15 in his wallet and he stole a candy, he's not stealing it because he's hungry. He's stealing it because he wants to steal it. He don't want to pay for it. You might write that one up. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what their background is. I don't care if they have parents have $1 million in the bank or if they only make $12,000 a year. A good person making a bad decision based on their circumstances, right? Maybe they deserve a break. Maybe they just need to be scared up a little bit and then try to figure out the path they need to go on, right? But a dirtbag is a dirtbag is a dirtbag. I don't care what you say, what you do. There are dirtbags out there that are just evil. They're mean. They're nasty. They've just got a rotten attitude. And I don't care what you do, how many times you send them to jail, how long you put them in there, what kind of counseling you give them. They're just a dirtbag. They will never, ever, ever change. So with that being said, what do you think is the greatest issue facing law enforcement? I mean, to me, again, I think it's the lack of our ability as law enforcement to share 100% of the story. We're not into that. We're not glory hounds, right? We're not trying to spread the word about every little thing that happens, right? But when the media gets a hold of something and they twist it, I think we need some kind of a recourse, some kind of an ability to say, wait a minute, that newspaper, that TV channel, that internet site has this story completely wrong. These are the 110% facts of the case. These are the 4 things that they left out that made us wonder about what's going on. I think that's the greatest thing facing law enforcement. But when you're asked that question, let's say you think it is a kind of like a diversity issue, right? You think, well, I don't know that all law enforcement officers today are taught how to deal with the diversity of different neighborhoods. Then by all means say that, but then back it up. Why? Why? Is it just because of what you've seen on the media? Or is it because of a personal encounter that you may have had? Personal encounters your friends may have had? Then bring that up and then give a solution, right? Everybody can moan and groan and complain about problems. But who can offer solutions? Can you offer a solution? So be aware of this question when you go into an interview. What do you think is the greatest issue facing law enforcement today? Right? Take your pick. Again, I'm not going to tell you how to answer, but think about the things that are going on in society right now. Lack of training and diversity issues. Make sure you can justify why you're giving that answer and then offer solutions to that. Is it lack of training and use of force? And then what would you offer to help fix that? Just make sure that you're putting some thought into this. Don't just throw some media answer out there. Don't just throw an answer out there that you think that the board members want to hear. Don't think that they're going to want to hear, well, I think the biggest problem with law enforcement today is the media sucks. They're always giving the wrong answer. They make us look bad. And I don't believe that I think all cops are perfect. No, they're not. Not all cops are perfect. Not all agencies are perfect. There are issues everywhere. I don't care what career field you go into. There are people that have issues in every single career field. Priesthood, churches, dentists, doctors, truck drivers. I take your pick. Every career field has mostly good people, but then they have this small little percentage of bad people that make us all look bad, right? So give your answer. Make sure you can back it up. Offer a solution. Excessive force, right? That's a big thing in the media right now. Do you think that officers aren't trained properly in maybe like a use of force continuum or the appropriate times to use certain kinds of force or whatever? I I can tell you that the death of George Floyd was completely wrong. I don't actually believe it was caused by the neck or the knee and the neck. The autopsy actually showed that there was no real bruising or anything in the neck area. But understand this. George Floyd's death was wrong. But it's not wrong for the reasons that the media would make you think of, right? So, and this is where we need to get the information out. No department, at least in probably the last 15 or 20 years, has said anything about putting a knee in the neck. Ever. 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 The torso may be up by the head. The knee and the shin will lay down over... So, like, well, let's see, how does this go? The knee will end up about mid-back, right? And then the, no. Yeah. So the shin near the ankle is going to be here at the top of the shoulder, with the knee down at an angle nowhere near the spine, going over the shoulder blade, right? With the knee just below the shoulder blade. And that's how you can hold somebody down on the ground. You don't injure their neck, you don't injure their spine. That's what's taught. That's what's taught in how to control somebody that's on the ground. Never put a knee to the neck. Ever put a knee to the neck, right? So, death of George Floyd, definitely bad. As soon as he was down and he was cuffed, they should have immediately sought medical attention. Without a doubt. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't delete my video off of YouTube. I'm just telling you that it's that twist, right? It's that twist. The other the three officers that were there, they should have gone up and bopped that dude in the head and gotten him off of George Floyd, called for the medics and everything else. He probably would have died anyway with all the drugs and everything that he had in his system. However, those three wouldn't have been civilly sued in court like they are right now, and it would have been okay. What are the biggest problems facing law enforcement today? Is it training? I guarantee you that was it Chauvin, I think was his name, for George Floyd. He was never trained to put his knee on somebody's neck. Okay? He was not trained that way. Something he did on his own. And the three rookies or three people that were standing around watching it failed to act. That is not trained. That's not trained. Now, what may not have been trained was you need to be able to take action when you see a fellow officer doing something wrong. You have to be able to step in and say, hey, wait a minute, stop. Hey, back off. I got it. I got this. Back off. Anyway, what's your answer? What is your answer to what is the biggest problem facing law enforcement today? And what is your solution? I went on and kind of ran my mouth about this, that, or the other thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is that in any of these interview questions that I review with you, come up with your own answer. But I want you to think about that to protect and serve, right? Protect and serve. Protect and serve. How do I answer this question keeping in mind protect and serve? So what is the biggest issue facing law enforcement today? How do I answer that? How do I offer a solution with that idea of protect and serve? Okay? So with that, we're going to call it quits. I thank you very much for checking out this video. Make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that little bell notification for when the next video comes out. I greatly appreciate it. And you know what? Make sure you stay safe out there.